Estill Council meeting, February 10th, 2021, into order. Ask Councilwoman Baldwin, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Father, we come before you as a team to lead the town of Estill into greatness. We ask you to cover us with the COVID situation that's going on in this world, dear Lord. We ask you to open our minds and our hearts that we would make the right decision in turning this town into a wonderful place. Lord, protect us, guide us, teach us the right things to do. Give us a hand that we can put around this town and turn it into this wonderful place. Lord, I thank you. Again, Lord, protect us. Keep us all, open our minds and our hearts. Whatever decision that we make, let us leave this room, this Zoom, on one accord, regardless of whether we disagree or agree. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman Baldwin. Moving on, if everyone would please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic
for which
it stands,
one nation, God,
under God, indivisible,
justice
with
for all.
justice for all.
just for all. Thank you. Moving on to item 4 on our agenda tonight is approval or approve the January 6, 2021 special call meeting minutes. Council, as always, I ask that I hope everyone's had the opportunity to review these minutes. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to accept these minutes and move forward.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the January 6, 2021 special call meeting minutes.
Second.
Second. It's been motioned and properly second. All in favor, I know you by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Aye.
Moving on, item 5, approval of January 13th, 2021 council meeting minutes. Council, do we have a motion? I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Solomons. We
Second.
have a second. Motion seconded by Councilwoman Bolden. All in favor, I know you by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Aye.
Moving on, item 6, approve the February 10th, 2021 council meeting agenda, tonight's agenda. Council, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I think that Mayor Pro Tem would like to remove item G from the agenda.
Yes.
Okay,
If everybody agree.
all right. With the amendment of removal of item G to this agenda, do we have a motion to that effect?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation to remove item G from the agenda for February the 10th, 2021 council meeting.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Solomons. All in favor? I know you've been raising your right hand stating aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on.
Mr. Mr. Mayor, if I can interrupt for 1 second, I'm sorry, I just got a communication. Mr. Jenkins, Al Jenkins would like to join the Zoom meeting, and I don't know whether that's possible or not. Mike?
Karen, if you can forward him the email that I sent you, I'll admit him.
Okay. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Give me a second, please, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Council, we all know Mr. Jenkins as the area liaison to Senator Scott. And he has definitely been a helpful friend of ours.
Is Mr. Marty on that?
No, he is not.
Okay. I was just wondering if we could, would we be okay in adding him to tonight's agenda?
I believe that there's no problem with adding a senator's liaison to.
We could.
I don't know if he
No.
plans on speaking this Miller.
I don't know either.
Miss Miller.
I really
Okay,
don't know,
maybe-
sir. I don't know if he's planning to or not.
Could always bump up the public comment, I guess, if we needed to try and make a formal allowance for it. If if we just wanted to move public comment up to allow him to speak if he does have something to say.
That's a good point.
That's something we need to make sure that we'll be okay in adjusting this tonight's agenda. Because it's not listed here, so we don't want to make it look
Hey,
like
you're correct.
adding stuff on here at the last minute, and maybe he might got some information everybody might needs to hear. And
Well,
them
it will be.
not
It will be.
here to speak.
It will be broadcast. I mean, this will be public knowledge at the end of this Zoom meeting. It will be downloaded and anyone can look at it. But I can try. I know that Marty was not available for tonight's meeting. He had requested earlier in the week. Let me.
Let's just make sure we doing what's right in adjusting this agenda at the last minute. That's just my opinion.
No, I understand. Miss Miller, could you try
Hey,
to
Mr. Jenkins,
possibly?
this is Karen Miller. I just sent you an email. If you can click on that join the meeting, you can join the meeting. Are you planning to speak or just want to? I can do that. On its way. Okay. You're welcome. All righty, sounds good.
Miss Miller, is he planning on speaking?
No, sir.
Okay.
So he's not planning on speaking whatsoever.
No, he just wanted to observe and see if there's a way that he can help us with anything that we're discussing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Council, if y'all in favor, if Mr. Jenkins, can observe, he's not going to be speaking. At least he'll have knowledge of what we discuss as everyone else would. I try to, Mr. Jenkins is, try to allow those who have been major contributors to helping our community. Any way I can. What's y'all's take? Do you believe we need to amend the agenda to allow Mr. Jenkins to be a part of this?
I would have a question, Mr. Mayor. Is this going to be permissible because he is a liaison with a federal representative? would that give him the right as opposed to maybe an ordinary citizen requesting? That would be my only question. Because I want to be fair
I'll tell
about
you
what.
what, I'm going to step out of my office for 1 second and to get a hold of Marty. And I'll try to, or either Ms. Miller, you can try to get a hold of him currently right now just to make sure that we're 100% correct on allowing this. Just if you, I just don't have service inside of my office on my phone. Now I can try to get a hold of them.
Let me do
you
it.
should,
I got it.
so that you can hold the phone, up and everybody can give understand. Make sure we're correct.
Just, yeah, make sure we are correct and in line with that, You don't want
Ms.
no
Miller,
kickback.
if you want, you could probably mute your microphone if you needed to, but. I mean,
Did anybody else
lot,
comment on their thoughts on it?
a lot of municipalities have people watch their council meetings live, whether it's most of them are broadcast on Facebook. And since ours are not broadcast on Facebook, I mean, I wouldn't think that having someone watch a meeting is any different than anything else. I mean, he's not participating in the meeting, he's just observing, so.
Mr. Mayor, unfortunately, it's going to voicemail. I know that he's in an area where service is not very good. So I don't think that we're going to be able to get a hold of Marty tonight. But I understand the concern because I did have one of our residents ask if they could call in. And at this point, we have not had that facility to do that. So I guess it's going to be a policy decision, and maybe I need to speak with Mike a little bit more and find out how we can facilitate something like that where they can at least listen to it. But I don't know.
Okay. Well, council, we just approved February 10th, 2021 council meeting agenda. It's my suggestion that we motion to change our decision to allow Mr. Jenkins to be a part without commenting. And Mr. Jenkins is just here to listen in and to hear and see if there's any way that he and the senator can help us. And we will need to do a little bit of more work so that we can allow those, since we've never had this occur before, allow, if people do want to call in or be a part, that if it's on the agenda, that they're allowed to. Do we have a motion to that effect? Or does anyone have a comment on that?
My opinion, Mayor, I just feel if we do it for one, we're going to have to do it straight across the board. And I feel we're going to open up a can of worms when we start letting people just chime in on our meeting like this. And then you might have 20 or 40 different citizens want to come online, and then we got an all-night meeting. That's just my opinion.
I understand.
We got to be careful. What we do for one, we got to do for everybody.
When we move forward, I guess I moved forward a little bit faster than I should have. Maybe we need to address this from a different approach, and I thank Mr. Jenkins for wanting to join in, and I appreciate all the service that he and the senator do for us. But without a formal request prior to the meeting, we probably need to move to keep this meeting concealed, or not concealed, but as is until we put proper protocol in play with legal backing. No offense, Mr. Jenkins, to you or the senator, I do appreciate everything that y'all have done for us, and we've never had this occur. Is there any other comment by council?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be quick. I mean, a lot of municipalities, like I say, and other board meetings are broadcast on Facebook. So I think the public needs a platform to participate in this meeting. So this has not happened to us yet, which is kind of surprising. So we probably need to get our ducks in a row on how to broadcast these things on Facebook, so the public can have an opportunity to participate.
Correct.
Through comments. But since this is a new thing, I mean, I kind of agree with Mayor Pro Tem on this, that we're kind of in a strange situation of having someone participate in the official platform rather than, you know, view, if that makes sense. So.
I understand. Councilwoman Bolden, do you have anything to add?
No, I agree. You know, it should be that the public should be allowed to come in. So with that being said, I mean, if we allow him in, and like she said, she had someone else requested to come in, need to call that person too and allow that person to come in as well.
Correct.
If we're gonna allow him.
Understand. All right. Mr. Hadwin.
You know, that's just my concern. I
Um,
just want us to be fair and consistent with everyone.
I understand.
Mr.
Ms.
Mayor, if I
Miller?
may, I just spoke with Mr. Jenkins, and he understands where y'all are coming from. He's getting the agenda from me, and he's gonna leave the Zoom meeting. And he'll give me a call, or I'll give him a call tomorrow, and we'll discuss it, but he understands.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Tell Mr. Jenkins, thank you. We appreciate everything he and the center do for us.
I did.
Yes, thank
No,
you.
no
Appreciate it.
amending to the agenda. All right, now moving forward, we will go into old business. Establishment of needs priority list for LOCOG. Ms. Miller?
I provided you with a list of what I heard during the meeting, and this is just a draft, but I mean, if I've covered it, this is what I can present to them. If not, please add or delete whatever you need to delete. Or add, sorry.
Council, has everyone had an opportunity to look over the priority needs list? Does anyone have
Yes.
any suggestions at this time, or anything they would like to add or bring up to Ms. Miller? Or Ms. Miller, what timeline would you like to set on that?
This is due now. Ugh. They need to get it now. So, I mean, and I don't want to have a
Well, I
special
mean,
meeting for
I
it.
believe that this is, in my mind and what I've viewed and, you know, read through, that after our meeting that we had this past Saturday covers everything. And if no one else has anything to add at this time, we were in there for hours working on a lot of the priority needs that we are looking for. If no one has
Now,
anything
this
to
is
add,
for CDBG only.
I'll go to my left, Mr. Savino.
I think it's a good list. I think it's a great place to start. So I don't have any issues with it.
All right, Councilwoman Baldwin.
No issues. No issues.
Am I right? All right, thank you, ma'am. Am I right, Mr. Hadwin?
No, sir, just whatever grants we can get to accomplish some of these needs, let's do it.
Mayor Pro Tem Solomon?
No problems at all. Let's try to get some work done.
All right. Well, then, take a motion to accept this as is information only, and to move forward.
Make a motion that we accept the list, the needs priority list for LOCOG.
Second.
Second.
Been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor, I need by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Uh,
Motion carries. Moving on, discussion and appointments to the Planning Commission. Ms. Miller.
Again, I still only have people's names from Mr. Hadwin and Mr. Savino. I was hoping that maybe you guys could give me some more names tonight, or we can table it again until next meeting, and hopefully we can come up with a list and maybe appoint these people so that we can get started.
Council, I don't believe that we need to discuss people's names over the line meeting. I think that everyone needs to go with Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, I thought that you had my list, but I will
No, sir.
resend that. I will resend that to you tonight. And I'll also put a hard copy in your box. But I believe that we need to, Ms. Bolden, Ms. Summers, if we can have y'all's appointees that y'all think would be good for the Planning Commission. Is it possible to have that by the end of the week?
I'll put it in your box in the morning, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm also waiting on someone to give me an answer on whether they would like to
Okay.
participate.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. So that will be, it's open-ended. I don't believe we even need a motion to table this. It's just, it will be left open. All right, moving on to new business. Department reports, police report. Council, as always, with the situation we're in. I've asked everyone to make sure they've read these reports, look through them. Are there any questions as to the police report that has been provided to us? To my left, Mr. Savino.
No, sir, no questions.
No questions, Mayor.
Ms. Walden,
No questions.
Mr. Hadwin,
None.
Ms. Solomons.
No question, Mayor.
All right, this time I'll take a motion to accept this as information only.
Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I would like to make a motion that we accept the police report as information only.
Second.
It's been motion properly seconded. All in favor, I need by raising your right hand and stating aye. Motion carries. Moving on to safety and recreation report. Are there any comments to my left, Mr. Savino?
No, sir.
No comments,
Bolden?
Mayor. No comments.
Thank you. Mr. Hadwin,
None.
Ms. Solomons.
No questions, Mayor.
All right. Motion to accept this as information only.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and properly second. All in favor, I need by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Aye.
Fire department report. Are there any questions to my left? Mr. Savino,
No, sir.
Ms. Bolden,
No questions.
Mr. Hadwin,
No questions.
Ms. Solomons.
No question, Mayor.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
It's been
Second.
motion, been motion and properly seconded. All in favor, I need by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Aye.
Public Works, Water, and Wastewater Report. Council, any questions to my left, Mr. Savino?
No, sir.
Ms. Hadwin? Ms.
None.
Bolden, I'm sorry.
No questions.
Mr. Hadwin,
No questions.
Ms. Solomons,
No question, Mayor.
motion to approve as information only.
So
I make
moved.
a motion that we accept the Public Works Water and Wastewater Report as information only.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor, I know by raising your right hand and stating aye. Aye. Moving on to administration report. Ms. Miller, do you have anything to add to this administration report since we have you present and available?
I submitted the grant for the air packs for the fire department today by the wire, so that's good news. But other than that, no, sir, I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, well, great. I'm glad that you were able to do that. I know we had discussions on that earlier. Thank you. Are there any questions to my left, Mr. Savino?
No, sir, no questions. Thank you.
No questions, Mayor.
Ms. Baldwin?
No questions.
Mr. Hadwin?
The only thing I'd like to mention, last year at this time, we ordered some Christmas decorations that were budgeted and we could get a real good price for them. I think if my memory serves me correct, we have funds in the account for Christmas decorations or decorations. I would like for us to go ahead and get an order in so we can get the good deal that we did last year to continue the progress that we're making. That's all I would have at this point for the administrator.
I would like to add, did we have problems with any of the ones that we ordered last year, Ms. Miller?
I really don't know. I would have to check into it.
I don't think we
I
did.
would like to, before
I don't
Mr.
know that
Hadwin.
it was the lights as much as the poles.
Okay.
I don't know that it was
I know
just
that we did have
I
some
think it was the poles,
complications.
but yes.
Okay. How much are you proposing, Mr. Hadwin?
Well, I think we had budgeted, and correct me, Ms. Miller, I think it was around 2,000 is what we had in the budget for decorations.
I believe you and I discussed this before. It says it's under decorations, but we were actually going to purchase banners for downtown so that we could start sprucing up the downtown. That's still in place. We've just ordered brand new wayfinding signs for downtown, and that's part of that money. So we're probably left with about $1,000. If you want me to get decorations instead of banners, that's fine. I'll see what we can do.
I would like, and they're still open for discussion with council, but I would like a little more in depth of how many we can get, how much the banners will cost, what y'all are discussing, to be presented instead of a discussion over Zoom, so that we know exactly what we're getting ourselves into instead of having in such a short, quick like that. I'd rather us make sure. I do know that we still have a little bit of time, if memory serves me correctly, Mr. Hadwin, that we have to the end of the month, and I think that actually the middle of next month. But if you and Ms. Miller could discuss that, and I would also like to know from Mr. Hamilton if we've gotten some of those things fixed that caused the problems this past year, and just have a little better description so that we understand what we're dealing with instead of flying off the cuff here.
That's fine.
And that's fine.
All right.
I just want to make sure that if we're going to do that, that we get the most for our dollar for our citizens. And I just got a lot of.
I agree. Yes, sir. We will follow back up on that, pending a little bit more information. So, any questions, Ms. Solomons?
Yes, I would like to ask Ms. Miller, can she give us an update on the marquee?
Ms.
To
Miller?
replace the marquee, it's going to cost us quite a bit of money. We're looking at a minimum of 6,000 up to more than that. Mr. Hamilton is trying to see if there's a way that he can fabricate something on his own for less. But it's going to cost us, and it's something that's not budgeted. So we're trying to see the best what we can do with little we've got.
Okay.
I'll go with Mr. Hammond on that and take a
Okay,
look.
thank you, Ms. Miller.
That's something that I haven't had the opportunity to do. I apologize that I haven't. He hasn't spoken to me about it, but I'd like to take a look and see. If there are no other questions, we'll take a motion to accept this as information only.
Mr. Mayor, if I may know, I would like to make a motion that we accept administration report as information only.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly second. All in favor, I need to raise your right hand.
Aye.
Stating aye. Aye. All right, motion carries. We now will be at item B, January 2021 income statement. Council, I hope that everyone has had the time to review this extensively and take a look at where we are. And as always, I suggest that we take this as information only. Are there any questions about the January 2021 income statement?
No
To
questions.
the left,
No questions.
to my right.
No questions.
All right. We have a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the January 2021 income statement for information only.
Second.
I'm believing Ms. Solomons beat you to second, Mr. Hammond. That was you, Ms. Solomons, correct?
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. All in favor, I know you're raising your right hand, stating aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on, item C, approval of ordinance 2021-02, fair housing, first reading. This is something we do every year. If there's any questions or any misunderstanding of how this works?
Mr. Mayor, if I can clarify, we don't do this every year. We've done
So this isn't the
resolutions
fair housing.
to declare, a certain month or whatever fair housing, but this is an
That's
actual
fine.
ordinance.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, it's different, but this serves as a major milestone with CDBG and can be used as that milestone for not just the ones we have now, but maybe for the next one up the road. Because we have
I
to do
apologize. I
certain
must have. I know what you're talking about now. After discussion with you, I misspoke. Thank you, Ms. Miller, for correcting me on that. Council, have you had a chance to review 2021-02? Ms. Savina?
No questions. No, I've read through it. I don't have any issues with it.
No questions.
Councilwoman Bolton?
No questions.
Councilman Hadlin?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Simons?
No question, Mayor.
Okay. I apologize for misstatement. I don't know where my head was on that one. But at this time, I will entertain a motion for the approval of ordinance 2021-02, fair housing, first reading.
Make a
Mr.
motion
Mayor.
that we,
Go ahead, Councilman Savino.
uh,
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2021-02 for fair housing for the first reading.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor, I need by raising your right hand, stating aye. All right. New business item D, approval of emergency ordinance 2021-03 COVID-19 mask mandate. Cancel. Are there any questions? I hope everyone is taking the time to review this. Something we're dealing with globally. And Ms. Miller, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Are there any questions to my left, Mr. Savino?
No, sir. Thank you.
No questions, Mayor.
Ms. Ball?
No questions.
Mr. Hadwin?
Yes, sir, I do. I have a problem personally with this ordinance because I think it's a personal responsibility to wear this. If we're going to make a mandate where we are requesting people to wear it or be fined, I cannot support this because we have too many people that have illnesses, and some people aren't going to be honest about it. And due to HIPAA, you can ask them about their health. So I can't support a mandate. I can support a proclamation encouraging people to wear a mask, but I cannot support a mandate or an ordinance that's going to require people to have to wear a mask. So at this point, I'm going to have to stand alone possibly, but that's fine.
I understand and respect your honesty. I appreciate that. Councilwoman Mayor Pro Tem Stallman.
Yes, I would just like to add on to what Councilor Hadwin stated. Mandating is a serious action that we will be taking. And the reason being, like he said, you don't know people health issues and you can't ask them. And if we mandate this and something happened, then the town is going to be held liable for it. So I'm going to stand alone on that too.
Okay. I need 1 second just to make sure. Give me 1 minute. I need to review one thing, make sure that I understood it correctly. I respectfully understand the two councilmen's concern.
For whatever it's worth, there's an exemption for people with medical issues. It's on the third page.
Yeah, that's what I'm reviewing, Councilman Savino, and I'm looking at what the South Carolina Attorney General. The South Carolina Attorney General, as of June 25th, 2020, issued a public statement that enacting local mask requirements is within the police power of municipalities and is not preempted by state law. So, we're being asked to do this because evidently the governor cannot. But if we're looking at the also for medical issues exemptions.
And we just put it, Mayor, as maybe just encouraging the citizens to wear masks and not mandating them to do, even though, like you say, it's there. But
we'd have to
I just want us to move in the direction of causing the town no trouble.
And what does the statutes read as far as them
that's
writing
just my critique.
a citizen a ticket? What are the statutes for an officer writing a person a ticket for wearing a mask?
Okay, if I can interject real quick, I think,
For not
I
wearing a
don't
mask?
think,
For not wearing a mask? What are the statutes?
no, hang on. If I may, please, I want to
Okay.
answer your
Please.
question. Okay, right now with the
Okay.
proclamation, the way it stands, the officers can tell you we have a mask mandate by proclamation, but they can't write a ticket. So there's nothing that they can do to enforce it. At the last meeting, y'all, as a council, asked us to find a way to enforce it. The towns and cities and municipalities, as well as the counties in the state of South Carolina, have all adopted the mask ordinance that's in front of you today in order to be able to enforce it. This is the boilerplate that mask came out with, and most of the towns and municipalities and counties have adopted it. So once you adopt it, it becomes your law, and then the officer can go and say, this is the ordinance, this is the law here in the town. You must wear a mask unless you can prove that you've got a health condition that you don't have to. They can also go into the
It's a
businesses
100.
and make sure that the businesses are wearing masks, which was part of the problem in the last meeting that you had mentioned, Councilwoman Bolden, that
Mhm.
this particular business had just stopped wearing masks. And what could we do to enforce
Yeah.
it? The only way to enforce it is this
Okay,
way, is
there is,
with an ordinance.
there is a
Does that answer your
$100
question?
fine.
Mm-hmm.
It is a penalty. I was making sure I had this right. $100 fine. That's a civil infraction. Council, this is my personal
It'll
opinion.
go to our court.
We are welcome to have more discussion on this. There are exemptions of this. This is my belief, my personal opinion as the mayor of this town. We've been fighting a pandemic for almost a year now. The areas that have seen the greatest increase are the people who are not following the guidelines of scientific proof. That's just my opinion. Now, people have gotten lackadaisical about this whole situation. We are a community of a lot of people that are up in age. They're the ones that are at the most risk. Personally, I have a young child. I have an older father, and right at the brink of that age category. I think about all the people that I know. People are not wanting to comply. It's a personal thing, but it is that is their prerogative. This helps us. I believe we can get through this a lot quicker if people would just comply. I may be wrong, but that's my opinion. I want this gone just as bad as anybody else. But when people are dying, we do not know when this vaccine will be available to us. There are exemptions, Mr. Hadwin. I'm with you on that point. Health issues, but this thing is spread. It's spread so easily, and I put my foot down on that. That's where I don't want to lose any one of y'all. I don't want y'all to lose a family member. I don't want to lose a family member. I don't want to lose a friend. I don't want to lose a citizen of this town that we have the opportunity. I'd rather fight it. I'd rather our attorneys fight it in court and cost us a few $100s than to have an individual die in this town and we have the opportunity to stop it. That's my take. And it is open for discussion.
The only thing
I'll
I'll
throw
say,
it back to my left. Go ahead.
the only thing I'll say, at some point in time, people have to be responsible. And I just
Mhm.
feel we're just putting ourselves in a situation we don't need to be in. I'm for a proclamation. I will encourage, but as of right now, I will not vote for a mandate. I'm sorry. I think we're getting close to individual liberties. I think we got to look at people being responsible. If I don't like someone that's not wearing a mask, I remove myself from that environment. That's my choice. I'm all for protecting people, but I can't, with my medical background, I cannot see us personally enforcing a mandate when people may not be honest with you, and you really can't ask somebody if they have a health issue because of HIPAA. So for that reason, those reasons, honestly, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I will have to say no on this because we don't have the manpower now to enforce ordinances on the book. And then we're going to set ourselves up, our law enforcement officers, I'm afraid, if they go over here and talk to this person and say, well, you don't have a mask on, and then this other person gets by that doesn't have it, then they're going to say, well, you didn't get that person. And I just think we're treading in waters that we need to be very cautious of. And for those reasons, I'm just going to have to say no on the mandate for me. Sorry.
All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Anyone else have a comment or discussion?
No comment.
I mean, I'll chime in real quick, and it's just, government has a role in establishing guardrails of society, and they are fair housing. They're treating people equally, male and female, different races, all these things. And it's not just enough to say, oh, we should treat people fairly. That didn't work in history, and government has to put guardrails on society for that. And it's government's job to do that stuff, whether it's speed limits, seat belts, wear a shirt and shoes when you go into a building. I mean, these are all standard things. So I think as a government, we have to set the temperature and the tone for what kind of society we want to live in and what kind of town we want to live in. And I think that's what's before us with this. And the enforcement is always a challenge. Enforcement's a challenge with everything. And no one's asking a bunch of police officers to run around and chastise people about masks. It's just, it's something that puts it out there on the books that says you're required to do it. Just like wearing a seatbelt. Police officers don't pull everybody over just because they don't pull every person over that doesn't wear a seatbelt. And they can't. They just don't have enough time. There's not enough people in the world to do that. But it's a law, and we're supposed to abide by it the same as this. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it.
Is there any other discussion? I understand and what you're saying, Councilman Hadwin. I respect it and I understand what you're saying. Is there any other I guess to my immediate left as we sit in council chambers would be Councilwoman Bolden. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, I just, it's just a concern because I stated before, going into certain places and there's, mask is not required. I just think that it should be some kind of policy somewhere that requiring them to wear a mask. And I understand, Mr. Hammond, where you're coming from too, because I have some of my family members who have health issues and cannot wear the mask. So I just think that if you working in the public and you're serving the people of the town, and these people have to work, but the owner is not requiring them to wear a mask and they can't say anything to the individual coming in the store telling them that they have to wear a mask in order to enter the store. I think if we all wear a mask, it would calm some of this COVID down some. So I'm going to have to stick with the mandate right now, because if we don't, who said we're going to? I mean, and you got to be what, 69, 70 and older in order to have the vaccine? So,
65.
That's
65?
correct. If council will oblige me for 1 second, I want to walk back and grab something that I think that I'm missing, just to make sure. It'll only take me about 30 seconds. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm gonna look in the file cabinet as to this item D on our agenda. I just want to make sure that I'm correct on something. If you'll give me 1 moment, I'm gonna run back to my file cabinet right here. I apologize for that. All right. Proclamations do not have penalties. Proclamations cannot contain penalties, in my understanding.
Say that again, Mayor.
Proclamations
Mayor, can you
cannot.
repeat that, please?
Proclamations cannot have a penalty. The town can have a proclamation dedicating a day to someone, and if you disagree with it, we fine you $500. It doesn't exist. A proclamation cannot have a penalty to it. We tasked the administration into finding a way to make our community safer as we were seeing elevated levels. Now, in the event there's non-compliance in a proclamation, you cannot You cannot force someone to do it. If we do have a mandate, you can't force anyone to do it. I do not believe that our officers will take this mandate and run with it and hound people to the effect of you're going to pay this, you're going to pay this, you're going to pay this. It is just it is an extra buffer and a warning to help safeguard our community. Many don't believe in it. That's a personal opinion. Municipal Association has given a model ordinance for counties, towns, municipalities to follow. And we are looking at that. Municipal associations got fine legal representation. I think there's a little bit of discretion to our officers as to what they do to try to aid in the prevention and the spread of this pandemic. It will allow us to fine. It doesn't state shall. I have nothing further to add to it. And I will, if anyone else has any discussion, otherwise I'll open the floor up for a motion. Is there any discussion to my left?
Yes, Mayor, I got a question. When we placed this mandate, wasn't that during the time when the governor had issued a mandate at that time and we had to comply?
The governor
right?
declared a state of emergency.
But he also
Back last,
something. Where I'm going with this, Mayor, the main thing here is safety. Okay,
yes,
I understand that. And I understand this is a serious virus. And we all must take it serious. And to protect each other. And again, we are grown. We all should know to wear a mask. They're also now indicating we should wear double masks. Okay, but what I'm just saying to you and the rest of the councils, I just don't want us to get in hot water, forcing something and then causing the town problem later. That's all I'm saying. So now I'm gonna ask the mayor and council this question. We can't do a proclamation instead of a mandate?
proclamation means that people can do whatever they want to.
You kind of feel me now.
Proclamation still stands.
Proclamation is as is. We cannot force someone to wear a mask. This doesn't actually, if we go to court, you cannot actually force somebody. We're just asking we're asking that everyone at least try, and that our cops can actually say you could be fined because we want you to do this. If they want to bring a lawsuit against us, they can. I just feel like it's our duty to try to stop as much as we can.
I agree.
That's
I understand
my belief. And yes, there could be civil litigation against people's civil liberties. If we want to table this and have the attorney quadruple check it, it's going to come back the same way. Majority of the towns and counties in this state have done this, over 70%. And others are moving towards it to try to safeguard their communities. I understand what Councilman Havlin is stating about HIPAA laws. Yes, you do not have to disclose that. I do not think that we're going to see arrest or major fines over this. You do not have to disclose your private medical information.
Right.
We're all at risk for other things that are even worse than this in several different areas. But this is the number one thing that this globe is dealing with. I think that we should try to do our part as we can. Maybe 70% of the other towns and counties in this state are not aware of the few technicals that may possibly be out there. It's been almost a year now, and we're trying to make a change. The value of a human life to me is not worth that you cannot put a dollar on it, and I will say that you cannot put a dollar amount on a human life. Not one of the citizens of the town that I'm blessed to be the mayor of has a dollar value. Lawsuit or not.
And I agree, Mayor.
We're
I
talking
understand
about-
where you're coming from.
Ms. Miller, you had your hand raised. Please.
I just
You got
wanted to
something to add?
clarify something. The proclamation still stands. Whether we pass or you
Yes.
all pass this ordinance or not, the proclamation still stands. This ordinance is for 60 days and has to be renewed after the 61st day. So if in 60 days,
Yes.
things are going better, then we don't have to renew it and we don't have to revisit it. I'm just letting you know that that's just for clarification.
Thank you.
We need to look at the ordinance that the governor has passed for state of emergency.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
he left it up to the municipalities to decide whether they wanted to do the mask mandates or not.
Mhm.
He did not issue a mandate for the masks. He did issue a hope that the public would follow CDC guidelines.
Okay.
Council, are there any other discussion? Otherwise, I'll open the floor up for motions. Is there any other discussion or additional thoughts that want to be added? All right. If there are no additional thoughts or discussion on the approval of emergency ordinance 2021-03 COVID-19 mask mandate, I will open the floor up for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 2021, the COVID-19, 2021-03, the COVID-19 mask mandate.
A second.
It's been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor? I know you by raising your right hand and stating aye.
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 Those opposed?
Opposed?
The record reflect we have 3 motions of approval and 2 motions opposed, or 2 council members opposed. Ms. O'Banner, did you get that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. We will now be moving on to item E, approval of renumbering of ordinance 16-2020. Ms. Miller.
Sorry, but I think the months of November and December totally got me off track. So I numbered 2 ordinances the same number. So the only thing we need to do is just change one to 1620A and one to 1620B. And I'm proposing that the COVID-19 measures should be A because it was passed in October. And then 16-2020 on the hospitality tax was passed in December, so that should be B.
Is there any discussion, council? Is that something mistake? And we're trying to make sure that it is recorded correctly, if I'm not mistaken, correct, Ms. Miller?
Yes, sir.
It's already been done. It just needs to,
You see,
we need to make sure
We
the
just need to
numbering is
have them
actually correct.
renumbered, right?
That's correct. Any discussion to my left, Mr. Savino,
No, sir.
Councilwoman Bolden?
No, sir.
To my right, Mr. Hadlin,
No, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem Solomons.
no, sir.
All right, this time I will entertain a motion for the approval of renumbering ordinance 16-2020 to 1620A, 1620A, B, correct, Ms. Miller?
Yes, sir.
It's 16-20, 16A-2020 and 16B-2020. Am I correct?
No, it's 16-2020A and 16-2020B.
So the A comes out, yeah, that's right. The A comes after the 2020.
Right.
We have a motion to that effect.
Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I'd like to make a motion that we approve renumbering the ordinance 16-2020 to 16-2020A and 16-2020B.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor, I know you by raising your right hand and stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, approval of renumbering of resolution 2020-13. And I know everyone's read this. This is the exact same situation. Do we have an approval?
Exactly. It's the same
Discussion.
situation. Like I said, November and December, I don't know what happened to me.
We need
Mr.
any
Mayor,
discussion to my left, Mr. Savino?
No, sir. Sorry. No, sir.
Councilwoman Bolden?
No, sir.
To my right, Mr. Hadlin,
No, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem.
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Savino, take it away.
I mean, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the renumbering of the resolutions 2020-13 for, I guess,
We have a second?
yeah, 2020-13-A and B.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly seconded. All in favor, I know you by raising your right hand and stating aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item G has been stricken from the list, so G will now be public comment. Do we have any public comment via email, mail, or Dropbox? Ms. Miller,
No, sir.
just making sure. I didn't see anyone to make sure none came in under the wire. All right. Now we are set to adjourn. As always, I always try to allow council, if there's anything that you have to bring before public tonight, you have a moment or so. Mr. Savino?
The other thing I would say is, I think if you're 65 and over, you can get your COVID-19 vaccination. So any of us that knows anybody over that age limit that's interested in getting a COVID-19 vaccine, where to go and what to do is on DHEC's website. It's pretty easy to find. So
It's on our website too, sir.
Perfect. There we go. So I'd encourage all of us that have anybody in our lives over that age to have them take a look at that information and make a decision on whether they want to do or not. But that's it.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Bolden.
Just want to tell the citizens of the town to Look out for each other, check on the elderly, and everybody stay safe.
Councilman Hadwin.
Just want to tell the citizens, to try to do their part, to remain safe. And with the warmer weather coming about, start looking in the community and see what you can do to improve it, removing some litter and get with the town administrator or call in town hall when y'all get those things together. And our crews can come around and collect the litter to help make Estill a better place.
Mayor Pro Tem Solomons.
I just would like to just tell a citizen to remain safe and continue doing your part. I'm trying to write and talk at the same time, sorry.
Well, I'd like to thank the council for all their comments. Ms. Bolden, you hit on something that I think that is very important. Checking in on the shut-ins and the elderly and those who don't have the ability to go out and do the things they need to do, and they're also at a higher risk with what we're living in here. It's very important, and I ask citizens to consider that and to think about those. Think about those who have impacted their life and made them who they are, and help them along the way. And now they are in a position where they may need some help. Councilman Hadwin, I like the fact you're talking about warmer weather, getting outside, socially distanced, of course, and getting some things cleaned up and helping those who may need it. Councilman Zavino, we want everybody to stay safe. And I know that Mayor Pro Tem Solomons feels the same way that I do. We have a lot of love for this town and this community. This whole council does. I appreciate y'all's time, and I appreciate what y'all do for the communities. And I hope that we can get through this together. As my grandfather always told me, this too shall pass. I just hope it passes quicker than it looks like. With that, I'd like to thank everyone for their time tonight. A great appreciation for what you do for this community. Anyway, I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Y'all don't all jump in the boat at the same time now.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor? I know you by raising your right hand. Steady on. Thank you.
Everyone have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Now,